Okay, what's going on, guys? Quick update here. Wednesday, April 12th, and it's 8 o'clock at night. So I got to keep this short and sweet, and then I got to get the heck out of the office. Been in here watching the futures since like 5 or 6 o'clock this morning. But let's see. So busy day here for the market. You had the CPI report this morning, and then you had the Fed minutes this afternoon. So as far as the spiders go here, the spiders, after your CPI report this morning, we did come up and pop into that weekly ATR trailing stop, which is one target I gave you guys over the weekend. However, we failed to break above it. And remember, if we're actually going to get a big party to the upside here, we got to break back above that trailing stop. And if we can actually do that, then I think you see your weekly squeeze here fire to the upside. But as far as today goes, no such luck, which is a little bit unfortunate, because we bought some calls on the S&P futures yesterday, and we didn't take the profits quick enough this morning. So we ended up taking that trade off for a break even. But from here, guys, the question is, you got your S&Ps, you got your daily buy signals, and we are hanging out above that daily 21. So usually a pretty good opportunity to jump in here and get long. You're hanging out above the buy zone with some buy signals. And then over here on the NQ, you've got the same thing. You've actually got my favorite combo in the world. Pulling back to a 21 EMA in a daily squeeze, and you're printing a daily buy signal. And for the Qs here, the weekly chart is actually a little bit cleaner than the S&Ps. This weekly squeeze is actually fired to the upside, and you got the shift there of your trailing stop. The first positive shift since the downtrend started. So point being, your weekly charts look good, your daily charts look good, and now we find ourselves here back at the buy zone with some daily buy signals. So where this is typically where I'm looking to jump in and buy some calls or sell some puts, the real key is whether or not the lower time frames confirm the push higher. Right, that's always got to be your trigger. Your weekly chart, your daily chart, that all sets the stage for that potential push. Your confirmation of that push would be across your 4-hour, 2-hour, 1-hour, 30-minute, 15-minute charts. So a couple things here. If we pull up the 5-minute time frame, as you all can see here, all of our lower time frames are bearish. We got sell signals on the 4-hour, the 2-hour, the 1-hour, the 30, and the 15. So a quick look here, we can quickly see we don't have the ammunition needed under the surface to actually trigger that big push off of that daily 21. At least not yet. And then on the S&P futures here, take a quick peek at these guys, and it's more of the same. So yeah, the weekly chart looks good, the daily chart looks good, you're hanging out at that daily buy zone, but your 4-hour, 2-hour, 1-hour, 30, 15-minute sell signals, not the confirmation you're looking for to trigger that big push. Now the other thing I'm seeing here, for both the NQ and the ES, is some nasty action developing on the 4-hour chart. So tomorrow, Friday, and into next week, I think you all want to pay really close attention here to the 4-hour time frame. And what you got going on right now is basically the opposite of the 4-hour squeeze that you had back here. So back here, your 4-hour squeeze prints a buy signal. We get a positive shift here in the trailing stop. And then down here on the big 3 histogram, notice how you get a fresh move back above the 0 line. Right, that's your momentum reading. So in other words, you're in a squeeze, you've got a buy signal, and then the bulls essentially get a fresh tank of gas. Right, and that fresh burst of momentum, that's what allows them to fire that squeeze to the upside and get a pretty good push going. Right, but then that move came to an end. We lost the 4-hour buy signal. We got a negative shift there of the trailing stop. And it's been a little bit of back and forth. We haven't gotten any more buy signals. You've kind of seen the trailing stop go back and forth, but one thing you haven't seen is momentum break back above the 0 line. So for the last 10 or 11 days here, momentum on your 4-hour chart has been breaking lower. And now as of tonight's future session, once again we're printing that 4-hour sell signal, and you're getting another negative shift here in your trailing stop. So if we go back to the 4-hour squeeze over here, a lot of things are working in the favor of the bulls. positive shift in the trailing stop, you're above your 21, fresh tank of gasoline, and your buy signal takes you off to the sunset. All right, that combination, all those things coming together, usually you're going to see that squeeze fire to the upside. So now you're seeing a little bit of the opposite. Under the 21, fresh negative shift on the trailing stop, and a big bad 4-hour sell signal. So potentially, guys, what could actually end up being a good opportunity to get long is if that 4-hour squeeze fire is short and takes the S&P futures down to either the daily 21 EMA, and if that level can't hold, I think we could actually come down to that daily trailing stop. Now the bigger problem here as far as structure is actually the 4-hour chart on the QQQ. So for the Qs here, you've been under the trailing stop since April 5th. You've had negative momentum down here, right? A gas tank for the bears since April 5th. Now we're getting some sell signals. We are taking out key support at 13,000. So, listen, it's a nutty market right now. It's a nutty market for sure. But in my experience, 70% of the time, this squeeze will fire short. Big resistance, under the trailing stop, negative momentum, whole bunch of sell signals, take out support. Yeah, 70% of the time, that squeeze will fire short. Now, if we do fire short here, I think you could see the Qs come down to that daily trailing stop. And I would think if it can hold there, it's actually going to be a nice buying opportunity to jump into the daily squeeze. Now, what would be bullish here, it may be a little bit unlikely, but we've seen crazier things. So what would actually be really bullish here is if instead of the 4-hour squeeze firing short, if they can very quickly rip it back above 13,000 and then continue to rebuild from there, then you could have kind of this bear trap dynamic where everybody jumps in and gets short. And from there you could have a little bit of a short squeeze is a slingshot that 4-hour squeeze back to the upside. We have seen crazier things, but as far as probabilities go, for now the probabilities would suggest a 4-hour squeeze fire is short, and that should take it down towards that daily trailing stop. So I'm short the Qs here tonight with some puts for next Friday's expiration, but that is what I got for you good people here tonight. Again, bigger picture, things are still solid. Right, daily buy signals, weekly buy signals, usually bodes well for continuation higher. But you drill down to a 4-hour chart, you drill down to your lower time frames, things look a little bit tired. So maybe if anything here, those 4-hour squeezes fire short, we flush down towards that daily ATR trailing stop, and then if we can rebuild from there, probably ends up being a great buying opportunity. Or tomorrow we gap up and we're at all-time highs by next Friday. All kinds of possibilities. But before I close the video here, let me show you the settings on the trailing stop, just in case you missed the last couple of videos. So period of 9, factor of 2.9, and average type exponential. But alright my friends, quick update here. We will see what the squeezes bring tomorrow. But until next time, trade well, and I'll talk to you soon. Adios.